You know that feeling when you're setting up a sound system and you hit that classic dilemma? You want speakers that sound amazing in the living room, but you also want to blast music on the patio without worrying about a sudden thunderstorm.
Right. It's the classic mixed installation problem. Usually you end up having to choose between high fidelity indoor gear and rugged outdoor gear that honestly sounds a bit like a megaphone.
Exactly. But today, we are looking at a piece of hardware that claims you actually don't have to choose. We're doing a deep dive into the Kramer AW-8P-B.
Yeah, it's a very interesting model. It's an 8-inch two-way wall-mounted passive speaker.
And we're pulling our source material today straight from the product specification safety ratings and the installation guides over at HDTV Supply. Our mission here is to figure out how this specific box bridges that gap between indoor audio quality and outdoor durability.
And that's really what makes this a fascinating case study. It's an anywhere speaker design, so audio flows seamlessly from indoors to outdoors. If you look at the durability ratings, you'll see it carries an IP66 rating.
Which means it can handle dust and powerful water jets, right?
Exactly. Heavy rain or even a hose down is totally fine. But the kicker here is that it's paired with UL 1480A compliance.
Right. And whenever I see UL, I immediately think safety standards.
Spot on. That specific standard means it actually meets the safety requirements for fire protective signaling in commercial spaces. They use V0 flame retardant materials for the baffle and the back enclosure.
So you've got a device tough enough to survive a hurricane outside, but engineered to be safe enough for the strictest indoor building codes? That's a wild combination.
It's like wearing a tuxedo that doubles as a wetsuit. But obviously durability doesn't matter if it sounds awful. Let's look under the hood at this two-way system.
Yeah, the components look surprisingly robust.
Hmm.
For the low end, it uses an 8-inch polypropylene cone with a rubber surround.
Which gives you those really solid bass frequencies, but the high-frequency driver is the real standout. It's a 1-inch soft dome tweeter, and here's the crucial detail. It is ferrofluid cooled.
Ferrofluid. That sounds like liquid metal from a sci-fi movie. What is that doing in a patio speaker?
It actually is a magnetic fluid. It cools the voice coil and provides dampening. Heat is the enemy of speakers, so dissipating heat better than air means increased power handling and longevity.
Makes sense. It keeps performing even when you're pushing it hard at a summer party. And the frequency response reflects that right. It runs from 89 hertz up to 20 kilohertz.
A very respectable range, plus it offers a wide dispersion angle of 116 degrees.
Which is huge for open spaces because you don't want just one tiny sweet spot where the sound is good while everywhere else sounds muddy.
Exactly, you want even coverage. Now, for anyone setting this up themselves, there's a really interesting technical flexibility here. It's not just plug and play.
Right, it has this switch for different power modes.
Yes, it supports both low and high impedance. If you're putting this in a home theater, you use the 8 ohm mode for standard stereo, which gives you 30 watts continuous and 45 watts peak.
But what if you're outfitting a massive restaurant or a huge backyard?
Then you switch to high impedance mode, the 70 volt or 100 volt option. That lets you daisy chain multiple speakers over long cable runs. It even uses specific taps ranging from 3.8 watts up to 30 watts.
Taps like a flow restrictor on a faucet, right? So you control the power draw for each individual speaker.
Precisely. The speaker over the loud bar takes the full 30 watts, but the one in the quiet hallway just sips 3.8 watts. Same physical box used for both setups.
That's incredibly flexible. And putting it on the wall seems easy enough too. The guide mentions a toolless mounting bracket.
You just mount the bracket and the speaker clicks right in. And they kept aesthetics in mind with an aluminum grille available in black or white.
And the logo is removable. I absolutely love that because you don't always want a giant brand name staring at you in a nicely designed room.
Technology should blend into the environment, even weighing in at roughly 10 pounds, 9.92 pounds to be exact. It looks sleek. And considering it's listed around $217 discounted, you get a lot of engineering there.
So bringing this all together, we've got the Kramer AW-8P-B as this true hybrid device. It refuses to compromise on safety with its fire retardant build or durability with that IP66 rating.
It completely challenges the old idea that you have to buy separate gear for tough environments versus good-sounding environments.
It's a perfect example of specs translating into real-world flexibility.
And that leads me to a final thought for you to chew on. We almost always judge speakers by their audio fidelity, the bass, the treble. But how often do we consider the engineering required to make a speaker fire safe?
Rarely, if ever.
Right. It shifts our entire perspective from just audio quality to architectural safety. Next time you see a speaker in a commercial space, ask yourself if it's just making sound or if it's actually part of the building's safety ecosystem.
That is definitely something to think about next time you're enjoying music on a patio. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.